Those who are able, would you all please stand?
Bed is hardly so. Scream across the floor, life ain't stone. Oh, how long?
Well, I'd like to welcome all of you to this very special time of celebration and joy that Brad and Amy will remember forever as they begin their married life together. They have come to declare both their love for one another as well as their unconditional commitment. Today, you both are embarking on the adventure of a lifetime, and they've asked each one of you to be a part of it. Brad and Amy are so thankful and delighted that you all are here to share in their happiness. But before I move forward with the rest of the ceremony, I want to say a brief word to you all as parents about what you've done to get these two to this moment. And I'd also like to say a brief word about the role that you all as guests play in the ceremony. But parents, I'm going to start with you all. Parents, I want to congratulate you all on this day when your son or your daughter are committing themselves to one another. Your job as parents was really twofold. It was to give your children tools and to give them wings. And you've done a phenomenal job at both. You've given Brad and Amy the tools to be able to lay the foundation for building a life together. And now they feel confident enough to spread their wings and fly. So as they unite their lives together, will you bless them as they create a new family today? Will you encourage them regularly? And will you respect their ideas, their traditions, and their convictions? If so, as parents, please say, we will. And guests, you all were not just invited to be bystanders, but to participate in what is happening with Brad and Amy. Therefore, will you commit yourselves to honor and support this union between these two? Will you support them, love them, and help them in every way possible as they navigate the highs and lows of life? If so, as guests and wedding party, please say, we will. We will. Well, Brad, Amy, the day is finally here. Before I start, I just want both of you to take a big deep breath. This day goes by so fast, and I just want you all to pause and take it all in for 1 minute. So first, I want you to look deeply at each other. This man or this woman standing in front of you, the ups, the downs, and everything in between that you've already gone through, and now the ups, the downs, and everything in between that you will go through as husband and wife. I want you to turn and look over here at these handsome groomsmen. These guys, Brad, that have been there for you and probably given you a little trouble along the way too. I want you to turn and look over here at these stunning bridesmaids, these ladies that have supported you, Amy, and maybe shed a few tears with you along the way too. I want you to look in these first couple of rows at your immediate family, the support and encouragement that's brought you to this moment. And then I want you to look out at the rest of the crowd, at your extended family, friends, coworkers. And every single person is here because of how much they love both of you. And I just want to give you one brief minute to soak a little bit of that in. Now, I know you've both been anticipating this day for some time now. You're standing here because you're ready to make a commitment to one another. But love is bigger than just strong feelings for one another. In fact, love is built on the foundation of trust, the confident assurance of the honesty, integrity, and reliability of the other person. And clearly you've come to a point of great trust in one another, someone you feel like you can share the most intimate parts of your hearts with. You've demonstrated a willingness to stand by each other in the difficult as well as the blessed times. You've seen each other's strengths and weaknesses, and you've made sacrifices and sought to protect that trust between one another. I want to share with you all just a couple of short stories that I think really encapsulate Brad and Amy and what brought them to this moment. And so Brad, you like sleeping in to the last possible minute, right? And Amy, you like to get up early, prepare for work, take a walk, have coffee, and just prepare for your day. And so one of these particular mornings, you were walking with Molly. It's about 6 a.m., and wouldn't you know it, but you guys saw a beautiful hutch in perfect condition on this side of the road. And so immediately you called Brad in a panic to wake up and meet with his truck so that you guys could pick it up. And so I think, Brad, you were about half awake and rolled over, looked, and put your phone back down and went right back to bed. And so you guys raced home, woke him up, and Amy, I think the words you used were, "Did you not hear me? There's a beautiful hutch in pristine condition on the side of the road. We have to get it now before someone else takes it." So, Brad, I think you looked at the clock and you said, if I load this thing into my truck, I'm barely going to make it to work on time. And so, Amy, you continued to explain how rare and exciting this find was. And so Brad eventually said, if it's that important to you, okay. And so you got up, you drove, you got the hutch, and got back home and unloaded everything into the garage. And you did not, in fact, make it to work on time. But Amy was so happy about the hutch, and it was fall, and it was filled with this autumn decor and lights, and we're just so happy that you found it. And so, Brad, I think if we look at from your perspective, you would retell this story about all the crazy things that Amy gets in her head and she makes you do, and in the name of her decor, and just getting roped into all of that. But I think that Amy remembers this story fondly, is that you will do anything, even getting up earlier than you want to make her happy, even when you don't understand why, or even when it's not convenient for you. But your story to bring you all to this moment is one full of waiting and full of distance, right? It was gym class, freshman year, Parkway North, the first day of the year that you guys met. Although, Brad, I think you made the first move through Facebook. Yeah. But you guys were friends for a big chunk of that freshman year until the beginning of sophomore year. You guys decided to make it official. And so as you went through high school, you felt yourselves being drawn to different colleges in different parts. And you guys actually separated because you thought it would just be too hard to do the distance. And so after a few months apart, you guys decided that you would rather do distance than not be together at all. And so you guys got back right before you left for college, and were 3.5 hours apart from one another at S&T and at Truman State. And so I think about once a month, Brad, you drove up, and you guys cheered each other on from afar, and lots of phone calls and FaceTimes, and trying to see each other as much as you could over those 4 years. But after graduation, Brad, you moved back to St. Louis, and Amy, you realized that you were going to be going for your doctorate. And so you thought that Missouri State was the right place, and I think there was a little worry that another 3 years of long distance, that was going to be another challenge and something you guys weren't sure if that was going to last for that much longer. And so Brad was extremely supportive, and he promised that he would be waiting when you finished that degree. And so after another 3 years of distance, 3.5 hours away, you guys visiting once a month or whenever you could, it had been now 7 years of doing this distance thing consistently before, Amy, you finally moved back home, and you guys were able to really start your lives together. And so it was the spring right before you moved home that Brad popped the question, and I think that was probably one of the easiest decisions that you've ever had to make. But this love story may not be glamorous or spontaneous, but I think the most important thing is it was built on the commitment that you guys made as sophomores in high school, really only kids, that you two wanted to stay together and work through whatever obstacles life threw your way. You wanted to show up for each other day after day, time after time. And it's that love that's built on that mutual respect for each other's life, each other's goals, and for that independence that has brought you all to this moment. So I want to say just a couple of brief words, Brad, as you become a husband, Amy, as you become a wife, and then as you guys become husband and wife together. So Brad, I'm going to start with you. Brad, it's your job as a husband to wrap your home in protection, to keep the good in and the bad out. It's It's your job to both protect and provide for your wife and for your family, because you are called to be both tough and tender. Tough enough to take on any opposition, yet tender enough to offer Amy comfort in times of struggle. And Amy, as you become a wife, it is your job to be a solid foundation as Brad stands in the face of opposition, to be a helpmate to him in all that you do together, to challenge him to be the best man he was created to be, and to keep him grounded in what is good and what is true. And lastly, together, it is your job in your marriage to grant forgiveness to one another, to keep promises, to go above and beyond, to sacrifice, and to give. Right now, I'd like to welcome up the mother of the bride, Margaret, who has a short reading for us.
This is from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends.
Now, Brad and Amy, you have chosen to exchange rings as an outward and a visible symbol of the commitment that you're making here today. And a ring is a beautiful symbol of love, but it is also an announcement and a reminder. They announce to the world that you have given your lives to one another, and they announce that you have committed yourself to someone you know to be the only provision for you. And secondly, they are also a reminder. They are a reminder of the trust that you are called to protect, and they remind you that your love is a gift, and it is your job to daily nurture it. So, Brad, if you can please take Amy's ring. And repeat after me. I, Brad, take you, Amy, to be my wife, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, I promise to always love and cherish you. And Amy, if you can please take Brad's ring. And repeat after me. I, Amy, take you, Brad, to be my husband, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, I promise to always love and cherish you. Well, now, Brad and Amy, having affirmed that your love is indeed unconditional, I therefore, by the power invested in me by the state of Missouri, pronounce you husband and wife. Brad, you may kiss your bride. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Brad and Amy Hilton.
First up, Madison and Doug. Keep it going for Maddie and Rue.
I don't know.
Put your hands together for Brooke and Vince. Up next, Madison H. and Hiroki. Molly and Matthew. Maid of Honor, Kayla, and Best Man, James. And Maid of Honor, Lily, and Best Man, Ethan. All right, I need everybody on their feet. I need everybody on their feet. Get those napkins ready. For the second time today, Mr. and Mrs. Hilton.
I'll say good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jerry, and I'm lucky enough to be Amy's dad. I'm affectionately known by her as Jer Bear, Papa Jojo, and Bearski, and I answer to all of those. I am honored to be able to stand here and welcome you this night for a night of fun. Tonight's been many years in the making, and we always knew we would get there. Amy's a determined girl, and when she sets her sights on something, she does what it takes to make it happen. From the time she played basketball in middle school like a beast, to when she decided to go to Truman University, and then on to Missouri State to get her doctorate in audiology. Go Bears. And but Amy's always know how to stay the course, and I'm so proud of her. And she's everything that I could have hoped for a daughter. 11 years ago, Amy set her sights on Brad Hilton, and we could not be happier that she did. We were so fortunate to be there and watch them guys grow from these middle school sweethearts, shy little people that could hardly talk to the adults that they are today. We knew Brad was a keeper when we required him to take Margaret and I on a test drive before he was allowed to drive our sweet Amy in a car. This could have easily scared some 16-year-old boys, but it didn't Brad. Brad hopped in the car with two crazy parents and did what it took to build their confidence and trust. So, Brad's encouraged Amy to follow her dreams while he followed his own, graduating from the University of Missouri-Rolla with a mechanical engineering degree. And we're so proud of Brad. We love watching how Amy and Brad are always there for each other, always encouraging each other. So Dan, Stacy, Margaret, and I could not be happier that you all are here to join us in wishing Amy and Brad a happy marriage. And let's go ahead and raise a glass to love and to friendship, to Amy and Brad Hilton. Now I can attest this only through the love and benevolence of God that I'm able to stand up here tonight. And I would like to ask his blessing upon this couple and upon all here tonight who have come to celebrate with them. So if we could take a moment to bow our heads and say a prayer of thanksgiving for the food that we receive and the fellowship that we're going to have tonight. So, in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Bless us, O Lord, in these thy gifts, which we're about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. They'll be coming around the table shortly to invite you up to the buffet. Please visit the bar and refresh your drinks. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kayla Cassidy, and I am lucky enough to be seated amongst all of these beautiful women who are lucky enough to get to call themselves a friend of Amy's. I met Amy through our sorority, Alpha Sigma Gamma, at Truman State University. Yes, Truman. Bulldogs forever. I met Amy when she was just a quote-unquote young duckling, as the duck was our sorority symbol for whatever reason. And I was on the search for my little, and Amy was on the search for her big. And you might say that the stars just kind of aligned, and Amy's big, bubbly personality and the ways her sentences just kind of bounced together, and the way she just lit up every room she's in, as I'm sure all of us know, really, really drew me in. And lucky enough, I guess she liked me too. So at this time, we became big and little. And what Amy didn't know is I was going through a pretty tough time, as my dad had been dealing with a terminal illness for about 2 years. I was in a deep need for a support system, especially being 3 hours away from home. And Amy really, really showed up for me. But during this time, what you should also know as our friendship grew is that Amy, although being very kind and sentimental, would also love to send me a little text that said, "I just want to dance tonight." And what that meant was she wanted to dance on a sticky concrete floor in a frat house basement. As you can imagine, me being my old soul of a 21-year-old self, often tried to get out of this situation as I was so mature for that type of thing. But all of the times that she was able to convince me to go and not be the nickname that she deemed me when I was being lame and acting like I was 75 when I was 21, she called me Quails, also known as Quail Cassidy. So I was like, okay, yeah. I would reject this nickname and go to these frat house basements with her and have the best time. As we've gotten older, we've graduated from the frat house basement, and now we have this beautiful dance floor. But I still occasionally will get that text message or have her say, I even heard her say it earlier tonight, "I just want to dance." And I'm so excited that I got to live it up with her through all those years and get to continue to do so and dance it up tonight with her and all of these wonderful people. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Brad is one of the best dancers of all. Not only is Brad a great dance partner, but he's also a fantastic support system for Amy and a wonderful person, and I truly don't think they could have found a better match for each other. Thank you so much. Let's get this party started and dance like it's 2016 all over again. Cheers to Amy and Brad.
All right. Hi, everyone. For those who do not know me, my name is Lily, and I am one of Amy's maid of honors. But if you hate this speech, please call me Kayla Cassidy. It's an honor to be standing here on such a special day to celebrate two incredible people. I met Amy my freshman year of college when we joined the same sorority, and I remember sitting next to her at one of our first meetings, which just so happened to be on her birthday, and that was it. We were inseparable ever since. Amy has this way of making me feel like the most important and special person in the world. She's hilarious and fun and always down for a sweet treat, which are all of my favorite qualities in a person. And the times that followed in Kirksville were all super cool, and we never, ever embarrassed ourselves, ever. For instance, we definitely did not get kicked out of a volunteer position at the YMCA for not being good enough second grade basketball coaches. And I know what you're thinking, Jerry just talked about how good Amy was at basketball. Somehow, we still got kicked out. And we also didn't drag Brad on an hour-away trip of Kirksville for what we were told was a really fun corn festival, only to learn there was no corn, and the main activity was a prettiest baby judging competition. And if you were wondering, Brad came in third. It was steep competition. And we also did not spend a lot of nights building pillow forts and binging sitcoms instead of going out in college. I met Brad at a time when most of my friends' high school boyfriends came to visit, only to never be seen again. But when I saw the two of them together, I saw that it was different. Brad gets Amy's goofiness and serves it right back, calling everything cute in the process. Has this wedding been cute, Brad? Yes. Yeah. They're extremely independent people, but they complement one another so nicely. There's a sweetness to how they encourage one another's hobbies, to Amy going on Brad's boat to catch a hundo. That's a 100-pound catfish, if you didn't know. To Brad, we watching Children of the Corn more times than any poor person should ever have to. And then if you'll allow me a joke only 10 people will understand. Kevin Hughes, the man of honor, do you want to stand up for a second? Amy and Kevin have this little agreement going where they would have been in their wedding parties had they succeeded at some childhood games together. So Kevin, I wanted you to have a moment to shine. Amy, Brad, I truly wish you nothing but a lifetime of health, happiness, and love in a corgi named Samson. If you'll all please join me in raising a toast to the happy couple, to Amy and Brad.
Can y'all hear me? How's everybody doing tonight? I'm gonna ask that everybody keep their drinks up. We're almost halfway done. First and foremost, I just want to start out by saying how incredible and honored it is to be up here tonight, standing beside my best friend Brad and his beautiful bride Amy on their big day. Whoa. For those who don't know me, I'm Ethan, the other half of the best men. I've been friends with Brad since middle school. We became friends after sitting next to each other on the first day of 8th grade English class. I remember going from class to class that day and quickly realizing that Brad was in almost every single one of them, and I'm sure our teachers were just as thrilled about that as us. That year, we probably spent more lunches in lunch detention than in the cafeteria with everyone else. So when Brad came to me and asked me to be one of his best men, I immediately got to thinking, going through all the great memories we've made over the years, trying to pick out potential stories for the best man speech. We were friends all throughout high school and eventually college. We were roommates all throughout college. But I was asked to keep this family friendly. So unfortunately, that era of the story is redacted. Maybe find me later after I have a couple more drinks. But we're going to have to find something clean to talk about tonight. So we're going to take it back to innocent 8th grade where it all started. We had a history teacher named Mr. Mushelski. I'm sure that's a throwback name for some of the others here tonight too. Mr. Mushelski. We called him Mr. Moo. And you already know how that went down. He would, at a bare minimum every day, he would at least give us the look. Sometimes he would just get fed up with us and tell us, go sit in the hall. I don't have it in me to deal with you two today. But throughout all the times he would take us in the hall and reprimand us, he had this favorite little speech that he would give us every single time. And he would say, boys, one day the foolishness is going to have to stop. One day you're going to meet girls. You're going to have to grow up. One day you're going to have wives of your own, and you're going to have to stop being idiots. Well, as all of you as my witness tonight, I can say Mr. Moo was right about one thing. Whether Brad has grown up and stopped being an idiot, that's still up for debate. Shout out Mr. Moo. Now, I've been to a lot of weddings, and in the best man speeches, there's a point where the best man will mess with the bride a little bit. Say something like, at first, the guys weren't sure about you. Or, I hope you know what you're getting into. It's not too late to back out, something like that. But I can honestly be up here tonight and say that I cannot say any of those things about Amy because she has been in the picture for just as long as any one of us up here. I don't know if you heard that. Any one of us up here. I literally cannot imagine Brad without Amy, and I can't imagine Amy without Brad. So wrapping this up, I just want to take a moment to thank everyone that took part in raising these two wonderful human beings. Thank you to my fellow groomsmen for standing beside Brad throughout this entire journey so far and for many years to come. Thank you to this team of beautiful bridesmaids who have done the same thing for Amy. There's not many couples that can say they've celebrated their 10-year anniversary before their wedding night. But love is not just about how many days, weeks, months, years, decades, how much time you've been together. It's about how much you love each other every single day. So I want everyone to raise their glasses, and this one goes out to Brad and Amy every single day for the rest of their lives. Thank you.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name's James, and unfortunately, I'm one of the best men. A lot of people said it would be a bad idea if I gave this speech tonight, and I can tell you right now, they're right. I'll start with the better one in the marriage, Amy. Amy, I'm happy we are here today, even though it took Brad over 200 years to pop the question. Christopher Columbus was just finishing up his expedition when Brad first met Amy. I still, to this day, cannot believe you've tolerated him for this long, but for that very reason, I know this marriage is meant to be. When I first met Amy, I was in 6th grade, and we had a typical 6th grade friendship that lasted about 3 days. We went bowling once, and after that parted ways, after she realized how uncoordinated and stinky I am. Some things don't change, unfortunately, and I'm still rather uncoordinated and stinky. Although I didn't remain incredibly close to Amy, it was hard not to notice her aura that she gave off throughout her time in school with her. She shined a light that attracted positive souls to her. She is an absolute angel that brings nothing but peace and happiness with anyone she interacts with. I have never met such a beautiful soul in my 26 years of living. I admire Amy for her ability to bring light to any dark situation, her ability to make people feel loved, and her ability to light up a room with a smile, and her tenacity to let nothing stand in between her and her goals. I could be having the worst day on the planet, but Amy's smile will turn it around in a heartbeat. She just has that effect on people. God definitely took his time with Amy, a true one-of-a-kind individual that even if you only met once, you would never forget her name or face. Ever since her and Brad started dating, she's been like a mother to me, and I would lay my life on the line for her if needed as many times as needed because she means that much to me. She has so much love to give in a world that seems to lack it. I couldn't be happier with Brad, who he chose to become his wife with, and honestly still shocked Amy accepts Brad's degenerative tendencies. But hey, here we are. Now on to that cheeky bouse, Brad. Brad is my absolute best friend, but if you ask my doctor, he says he's my absolute worst enemy. I met Brad on Facebook through sliding into his DMs like a real man. And it said something like, "Hey, Bouse, let's go fishing." And he said, "Yeah." From that moment on, my health has been in demise, and I have several warrants with St. Louis County PD. I'll never forget the first time I hung out with Brad. Rue was there, and we went fishing, and the whole time Brad's eyes were swollen shut from allergies. This kid took allergy shots like a daily vitamin, but still almost died anytime he touched grass. Hilarious, but also concerning. Rue and I kept telling him to go home, but he wouldn't stop until he caught both Rue and I a fish. From that moment on, we became best friends. Brad is a giver. He will do anything for his friends and family, and I mean anything. Nobody has your back like Brad. He has taught me so many things about myself and inspires me to be a better person every day. There are very few people I truly admire and want to be like when I get old, but Brad is absolutely one of them. He is truly the ultimate bouse. I admire his ambition and humor the most, but I could go on forever about the million reasons I love Brad. But don't let Brad fool you. After 6 bush lights, he is considered a lethal weapon that is a force to be reckoned with. I wanted to share a verse with Brad and Amy tonight that I want them to remember. This verse comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 and 5. The Apostle Paul is writing a letter to the church of Corinth, and he says, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongdoing." Keep this in mind day after day. Some days will be incredibly great, and some days will be incredibly hard. But you must remember, nothing is impossible when you two have each other. To that, I want to raise a glass to these two total bouses and cheers.
And I saw my reflection, snow-covered hills, to lands that down. Oh, in the sky was blue. Can I shine the night heart right above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. Well, time is older than children get older, and I'm getting older too. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you older, and children get older, I'm getting older too. I'm getting older too. And if you see my reflection in snow-covered hills, your lands like down. And if you see